Hello, 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 and welcome. So glad you all are coming on into the Surrender Break Room. This is a place where you can relax, regroup, relax, and then re-engage the world with a whole new perspective. I'm Dr. Celeste Owens, author speaker, and I get the amazing privilege of leading what we call the Global Surrender Movement. And surrender is doing God's will, His way, all the time. So glad again that you're hanging out with me. If you're coming in through the replay, great. Thanks for hanging with me. And make sure you like and subscribe. Oftentimes I can respond in real time to your comments or questions. So thank you again for being faithful viewers and hanging out with me on today. I'm just in YouTube land today because for some reason I can't get access to Facebook, but that's fine. We're going to hang out in YouTube and have us a great time. So today we're talking about the Psalms 91 promise. What does that look like? The Psalms 91 promise. Psalms 91 is one of those books of the Bible that is so encouraging to me and probably many others. And I want to break it down a little bit today so that you can be encouraged that there is a dwelling place in God, there is a shelter in Him. Let me first do a quick announcement. If you don't know already, we're going to be very soon embarking on our global surrender fast, which will start this September 19th. And you can register now. So the registration for the Global Surrender Fast is surrenderfast.com. It's just that simple. Surrenderfast.com. Good morning, Maureen and Rashima. So glad to have you all here. We're going to be small in number today because I couldn't get access to Facebook today. I got to fix that. I don't know what's going on. But we are in YouTube land. So if you all want to share, if you can, let them know that we're on YouTube instead of both places today. Thank you, Maureen. Yep, it is September 19th. And Maureen will be leading the teens all the way from Kenya, you all. Isn't that awesome? She'll be leading the teens for our Global Surrender Fast. Hey, Diane. Glad to have you here. We're talking about Psalms 91 today, but I was given a quick announcement about the Global Surrender Fast, which starts September, 19th, goes to October 28th. The theme is One Church. Make sure you register. It's going to be amazing. Shout out to our host pastor, Pastor Ken Howard of Kingdom Culture, who has partnered with us for this fast. And the YouTube is right here on the YouTube video of us discussing the fast, and our partnership is right here on YouTube. So make sure you come back to view it when you get a chance. Hey, Keisha, glad to have you here. Christy is here, registered yesterday. Awesome, Christy. So we're talking today about Psalms 91, right? Psalms 91. There's a promise in Psalms 91 from God. And as I look on the landscape of the world, I realize that so many people are fearful. There's so much going on. It seems like every day you can turn on the news and hear of some catastrophe. Just a few days ago in Kentucky, there was a flood, and then 10 people died, which is so unfortunate. And then there was another flood in Vegas, which is a desert. And they said it's so rare for that to happen, but there was some kind of a lot of rain caused a flood. So every day there's just something going on. And it's so important to read over yourself Psalms 91, reading the word of God over yourself for protection, but also for encouragement to your spirit that you are not forgotten, that God is here for you. And my cousin Kenny, who is also the host pastor, uh, our partnering host pastor for the Global Surrender Fast, he said that his mom, who has since passed away, but every day she would read Psalms 91 and, over herself, of course, but then also for her family. So it's powerful. It's a powerful psalm. So I want to break down a few of the verses for you, especially if you are worrying about circumstances or things or people or whatever's going on. I want you to have this psalm under your belt. So this psalm it has no title. So therefore, we don't know who the author of this psalm is, but it's just such an encouraging psalm. Good morning, Pamela. Because it tells us that God has a secret place for his children. And it's a place for us to live in. The psalm starts out by saying, he who dwells dwells. That word today just jumped off the page to me. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. Are you familiar with Psalms 91, you all? Um, and it tells us that there is a place, there's a secret place that we can dwell in, that we can hide in, that we could be covered by, and we don't often access that secret place. But we always have some shelter. But who is your shelter? Is it the Most High? Is it the Almighty? Or is it some shelter that you have created of your own doing, thinking that you're going to be safe? You're not going to be safe. So when we dwell with God, we are conscious of his presence in our lives when we dwell with him. So I wanted to break that word dwell down because verse 1 again said, he who dwells in shelter of the Most High. What does it mean to dwell? So in when we dwell in him, we are conscious of his presence, and in our lives, we feel most at home in his presence. That's because we're spirit. We feel most at home in his presence. So that is what it means to dwell. When we are not dwelling in him, we are distracted by busyness. We're distracted by our own pride, our ego, how we're going to solve it when we're not dwelling. And when I think about dwelling with God, or even abiding under his shadow, when it talks about abiding under his shadow, there's a great nearness when you're under a shadow. Because imagine if you're walking with a friend and you decide, I'm going to walk with their shadow. Do you know how close you'll be walking to them to be close to their shadow? But that's what he said. He said, under the shadow of the Almighty, he who dwells in the shelter and under the shadow of the Almighty. And verse 2 says, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. When I'm dwelling with God like that, I'm like, he's my shelter, he's my fortress. I can trust him. I'm going to be okay. Think about it when maybe some of you are moms or dads. I certainly have children, but I even think about when I was little, or even when I watch my nieces and nephews. Um, I was recently in Buffalo and I could recall my nephew was sitting on the floor. Hey, Marcus, welcome to the broadcast. I was sitting on the floor. My nephew was sitting on the floor. He's like, he's 2, I think. Might have just turned 3. And he's playing. But all of a sudden he realizes, wait. He's looking around. Where's my mom? And I could tell by that look on his face that it was the where's my mom look. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it. Um, Jonah, your mom just went in the kitchen. He was like, I don't care what you saying, lady. I'm going in the kitchen with my mom. That's dwelling. He's like, I done lost sight of the shadow. I'm going to go dwell with my mom. I don't care what you say. I don't care what answer you have. I don't care how safe you say I am. I'm going to go dwell with my mother. That's what dwelling is like. Stand in God's presence because you feel the safest there. You feel the most at home in his presence. Hey, MK, glad to have you. Maureen says, I can trust him. Absolutely, you can trust him. And even in Kenya, it sounds like there's things that are going on. A bridge, it sounds like people died on a bridge from what Maureen says in her text. So much going on, but we have a shelter. We have a Most High God in whom we can dwell. I love this psalm. This psalm is so encouraging to me. So what are the benefits of dwelling? And this is my last piece. What are the benefits of dwelling in his presence and being close to God? And I even think about when you think about dwelling in his presence, there could be a storm that's going on all around you, and you're at peace because you're under the shelter of the Most High. We even think about in the Bible when there was a storm and Jesus was asleep on the boat because he was dwelling in God. He was not worried. He knew he was covered. But the apostles went berserk. Oh my goodness, how can you be sleeping right now? Get up. There is a storm. You want us to perish? That's because their refuge and their fortress was not in God. They didn't trust in God. They trusted in the elements. Oh, this storm looks crazy and it's going to kill us. But God is bigger than the storm. Jesus is bigger than the storm. So that's why when Jesus woke, when he was awakened, he said, peace be still. He's like, y'all seriously really afraid of this? Really? When you dwell in God, you can stay healthy and well. You think about when the apostles dwelled in Jesus' presence, there's not one time that you heard the apostles were sick. Not one time. You heard Peter's mother-in-law was sick. So that got pretty close to home, right? But you never heard John was sick and Jesus went to go lay hands on him. Peter was sick. Not even Judas. Judas wasn't reported to being sick because they were dwelling in his presence. They were under that shelter. There's such a shelter that we have. Even when we're dwelling in God, God will, even in health, He will tell you things to do. Part of dwelling in God is being obedient. That's part of dwelling in God. Being under that shelter is being obedient. Um, so, then, what are the benefits of dwelling? Let's talk right there. The benefits of dwelling. Verse 7. So in Psalm 91, verse 7 says, 1,000, oh my goodness, may fall at your side, and 10,000 at your right hand, but it shall not come near you. Ooh, isn't that a benefit? 1,000 can fall, 10,000 can fall, but it will not come you. Only with your eyes shall you behold and see the reward of the wicked. Only with your eyes. Not with your lifestyle, not with your body being hurt, not with you being hurt. Only with your eyes you're going to see what's coming on the land. And verse 9 says, there's a contingency there. Verse 9 says, because you made the Lord, who is my refuge, even the Most High God, your dwelling. There shall be no evil befall you, neither shall any plague come near your tent. Plagues. We have plagues going on right now. Yes, we do. But no plague will come near your tent. Thank you, Diane and Constance. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Women and Christina. Being obedient is part of dwelling in God. Yes, being obedient is part of dwelling with God. Because I'm even thinking about, just the benefits of dwelling in God, that even your blood pressure has to be under his authority. I was thinking about this when I was going to have surgery some years ago. And I'm dwelling in the Lord, right? I'm not worried about the surgery. I'm trusting in the Lord. I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. I'm under His shelter. No foe can withstand the shelter in the shadow of God. Can't nothing come near me. So I'm having surgery. Okay. And they take my blood pressure. And the nurse says, this is so rare. A normal blood pressure before surgery. Because I'm dwelling in His presence. I'm in the shelter of the Most High. Come on, y'all. Don't be afraid. Know that you have protection under God. What's another benefit? This is number 2 benefit. So the number 1 benefit was you was going to watch thousands fall. There was no plague can come near you. Nothing. Number 2 benefit. And this is the benefit that people don't access. People don't access this one so much. This is the number 2 benefit, which comes from verse 11. For He shall, right, when you dwell under the shadow of the Most High, for He shall give His angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. Come on now. I had to underline that in my Bible today. In all your ways, not some of them, not a few. He will give His angels charge over you to guard you in all your ways. They shall bear you up in their hands, lest you strike your foot against a stone. Anything that's coming to get you, they're going to bear you up. We have, so many people have unemployed angels because God said He will give His angels charge, but you have to dwell in His presence. You have to be in His shelter. So if you're dwelling in your own pride and your own ability to do, then God is not going to give His angels charge because you're not dwelling in the shelter. Come on now. We have these unemployed angels who waiting to be released by God to take charge, to guard over us, to make sure we don't even hit our foot on a stone, nothing. Come on, y'all, today, would you employ your angels? Would you allow your angels to be employed? Don't let them be in the unemployment line. Let them be employed today so that God can charge them, can release them into your life to protect you, to keep you, to shut the lion's mouths. Whatever needs to happen, because some of y'all at work and y'all got people who yap and talking against you, you need your angels to come in and shut their mouths. He who dwells, and you know what? Dwelling is not something that's super duper deep. It means that I'm acknowledging God. It means that I'm praying. This means I'm giving him time in the morning, reading my scripture and praying over myself. I don't care if it's 5 minutes, dwell in God's presence. I remember some of y'all might know the story already, but I'm in regular habit of dwelling with the Lord and letting him release his angels in a situation. And I remember AJ was being bullied at school. This was like third grade or something. And it was this boy who always had something to say about AJ. Oh, AJ, you this, you that. I can't remember the specifics, but whatever he was saying about AJ. One day I got tired of this little boy. AJ came on. Oh, Pat said, I'm just making up a name. Pat said today, da da da. I was like, done, done. We ain't doing Pat no more. AJ, he was laying in his bed because I would pray over him every night. I said, look, I'm about to pray. This is over. We're not doing this no more. Because at that moment, I knew God already promised if I dwell in his shelter that I'm protected. He's going to send his angels to get charged to guard you in all your ways. You can't even hit your foot on a stone. The angel's going to pick you up. Come on now. Monica, right? Thank you, MK. It is so real. So I prayed. I said, Lord, so this is me employing my angels. This is me letting God release the angels. When AJ goes to school tomorrow, Lord, we need you. This is your child. AJ's your child. When he goes to school tomorrow, shut Pat's mouth. Don't let Pat say nothing else against AJ. Don't let him say a word. Lord, let his mouth not even form a word against AJ. He can't speak against him no more. I release my angels. Angels went and shut the lion's mouth. Boom. Next day, AJ came home. I said, AJ, did Pat say anything to you today? Ma, no. He ain't even say nothing to me. The next day, did Pat say anything to you? Ma, no. Pat ain't say nothing else negative about AJ for the rest of the time that he was at the school. Years. Y'all better employ these angels. Y'all better stop playing around. Y'all better dwell in the shelter. You better get close to God. This is a season where we have to be close to God. There is so much going on in the land that we need to be close to God. Christina says, handle your circumstance with God and not take matters. Come on, in your own hand. Employ your angels. Stick close to God. He's going to stick close to you. He says, you draw nigh to me, I'm going to draw nigh to you. And then Psalms 91 is going to be your covering. It's going to be your protection. I can't tell you how many times just dwelling in God, you will get this message in your heart. Don't go that way. Don't say that. Don't do that. It's God's protection. When you're dwelling close to him, it's God's protection. Right, Maureen? Pat couldn't say not another word about AJ. The angels had gone in and shut the lion's mouths. See, some of y'all going to go, and this is okay to go to the school to report it. Absolutely. I'm not saying that. But at that point, I knew God was bigger than the administration. I knew God was bigger than all of it. I was like, because you know what? They're going to pull the kids in the room. We're going to have this little talk. AJ ain't going to feel like telling on Pat because then he going to have social status, a drop in social status. Nope. We ain't doing the talk to the school. We just shut Pat's mouth. And that's what happened. Thank you, Maureen. Come on, Pamela. So that's all I got for y'all. If you're going to dwell in the shelter, the benefit of that is calling on these angels. I remember, let me give you one more story about these angels being called. I'm just thinking about this as I think about these angels that y'all got unemployed. Y'all better have these angels employed. My mom had a coworker who cursed like a sailor. And my mom was like, enough. I'd had enough of the cursing. This is just ridiculous. I'm tired of it. We ain't doing the cursing no more. So my mom took her blessed oil. Some of y'all better get y'all blessed oil out. My mom took her blessed oil because she was willing to employ her angels on that day. She ain't need to go report it to the staff. She ain't go back to the girl, stop cursing. And the girl be like, it's my mouth. I got the freedom to curse all I want. Go sit down in your cubicle. Nope. She employed her angels because they ain't, come on, when God employed them angels, he released them to have charge over you. They are bigger than the person in your office who acted up. They bigger than that. Diane, come on now. Bring out the blessed oil. Y'all know I brought the blessed oil yesterday on AJ. No, not yesterday, day before. Because I did a little dedication ceremony on him. And I was like, this the oil Pop prayed for. See, I got a little bottle of oil my dad prayed for. My dad been gone for several years. I still got the oil. and I use it sparingly. This the oil Papa prayed over. We about to anoint you because God about to do something new in your life. Anyway, my mom takes the blessed oil to work, rubs the oil on the lady's computer. So my mother said, the lady, this is a funny story. She prays all over the computer, rubs all over the computer. I mean, because she's like, the lady touches it. So she wanted to do something the way the person touched it. She prayed over it. Lord, shut her mouth. Let her stop cursing. Lord, please. The lady comes in and she says, Melinda. My mom's like, yes. It's like oil all over my computer. What is going on? Why is there oil all over my computer? My mom's looking like, oh, there's oil on your computer. My mom hadn't even thought about it. She was just so busy praying that she wasn't even thinking about people. But you know what? My mom said in her presence, she never cursed again. Never, ever. Talk about shutting the lion's mouth. See, some of y'all need some lion's mouth shut, and y'all talking to the lion. The lion ain't listening to you. The lion could care less. We don't wrestle with flesh and blood. The lion could care less what you're saying. The lion it actually roars louder when you start talking. The lion ain't scared of you. But the lion is scared of God. And he know if these angels get employed, he ain't got a chance. Her mouth ain't have a chance. She might have cursed at work, but mother didn't hear her. She ain't cursed my mother's presence. Again. These are true stories, you all. When you employ these angels, angels, Lord, for all the women. Yes, we got angels for the men too. I employ angels to shut negative thoughts that come to your mind. I love that. That's good, MK. Right. Just say the word of the Lord over yourself. When you start to think negative thoughts, when you start to spiral down like I can do, Lord knows I can spiral down to, oh, Lord, come on, Lord, you are my refuge. Oh, Lord, protect my mind. You will keep him in perfect peace whose mind is stayed on you. Oh, thank you, God. All of that. Employ your angels today. I should have named that the broadcast. I'm done. Employ your angels today. If you need to draw closer to God, let me announce again, because some of y'all were not on when I announced that the Global Surrender Fast is coming. I think it's like 45 days away. September 19th through October 28th. Make sure you register, surrenderfast.com. It's going to be incredible. The Lord has just dropped so many things. Our theme, Lutasha Hay, is one church, one mind, one thought, powerful, thriving in God. That's it. One church. When you talk about a building, we're talking about you and us being unified. I'm glad you did too, Lutasha. Make sure you register for the fast. Surrenderfast.com. We're opening up our fast. This is something we have never done before. We are opening our fast in another state. We have never done this before. But you know what? MK, what's the theme at First Baptist? God is still doing a new thing. He sure is. We are opening our fast in Louisville. So if you're in Kentucky, come hang. Or if you just want to go to Kentucky, come hang. Louisville, September 11th, 10:30 a.m. At Kingdom Culture. Pastor Ken Howard is our partnering host pastor. And then we will live stream it too. So if you can't be there, we'll live stream it. Or if you're in your service that day, it's a Sunday, obviously watch it later. Employing my angels today. Thank you, Rashima. Read Psalms 91. So is Maureen. She employing her angels for her academics and her brother, talking about AJ. We're employing these angels to do the work of the Lord. I'm definitely participating. Yay, Renata. Awesome. Surrenderfast.com, you all. Absolutely. One church. Let me put this in here right quick. You can register at surrenderfast.com. Okay. Awesome stuff. I'm so glad you all, some of you were not included, will be hanging out with us starting September 19th. If you have something that you are struggling with, something that you have not seen change in, this fast will bring change. This fast is amazing. So if you want to put something before the Lord, surrender that thing, watch God do an amazing work for you during these 40 days. And he don't even wait to day 40. It's like it starts right away. It starts in the pre-fast. I feel like I'm pre-fasting now, even though the pre-fast doesn't officially start to September 12th. I feel like I'm pre-fasting now. Christina is registered. Awesome. Registered. Also for you who used to hang out with me Wednesdays at 12, for There's a Oil for that. I'm not doing that for the summer. So don't come in tomorrow at 12. I'm not doing that any longer. Diane has registered. Yay. I will open up the link today for the teens and the kids. I need to open up a separate registration for them. Maureen Owens out of Kenya will be leading the teens Sundays at 1:30. And Zoe and her mom, Shalita, will be leading the children. I think it's going to be on Saturdays, but we don't have the time yet. We'll make sure that information gets to you. All righty. I pray you were blessed on today. I pray the Lord has moved on your heart, that you're going to be employing your angels today. They're going to read Psalms 91 over yourself, that there's nothing to worry about. You got a shelter in the Lord. Just dwell in him. All righty, you all be blessed. Love you much, and I'll catch you next time.